viewers. Welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. That is I. Let's continue part 2 of Adolescent Atheism. We discussed that place in your life you feel like you haven't quite matured and you're still at that stage of anger. You feel like you've been victimized. You feel like people have come against you. You lost your friends. You're at that stage in your life where you just can't really move ahead and you want to get into maturity. Well, there's something you can do about that. But let's talk about a few other characteristics of adolescent atheism. Here's another one. Overreactive behavior. Now, you notice I said overreactive because there are things we need to react to against the religious right. Don't get me wrong. Overreactive behavior are actions that are based on feelings or emotions. We all do it at times, but as you mature in every area of your life, you'll learn, and you tend to learn, not everybody, but some of us tend to learn continually how to control these feelings and emotions. So an adolescent person, usually teenagers, I remember my kids were teenagers, and myself when I was a teenager, my actions were based on those emotions and feelings, right? As a young man, it was harder for me. It took me longer to mature because I knew that I had this hardcore hormone pushing me to be aggressive called testosterone, right? And our brains are not totally developed till, age 25 or 26. But that's just a part of adolescence. Here's another one. People in their adolescent stage always blame someone else. It's someone else's fault. My kids did that all the time. Well, so-and-so's fault, and that's normal for adolescent behavior. Not everything is someone else's fault. Sometimes we need to take personal responsibility, and we need to look deep inside. Another one of being overreactive is that lack of self-control. That comes with maturity in every area of your life. Now, this is the area that I have not mastered yet. I'm getting better. I have overreacted many times through the years, especially when I'm spoken to in a negative way, in a pejorative way from the Christian right. I'm told many things that I have always overreacted in a bad way. Now, when I used to yell back at believers, when they said, "Oh, no, David, you say you can be good without God. There's no way. Your goodness is fake. Your happiness and love you say you have is fake because you're of the devil," that type of stuff. I would overreact to that. And I would put a bad face on what it is to be a mature person, a humanist, and an atheist. I used to enjoy the fight. I would go out looking for a fight as a young activist years ago. I wanted to go out and fight Christians all the time because I was still at that adolescent stage. But as you mature, you look at these people and you look at them, they're fellow human beings. Most of them have been indoctrinated. They've been victimized, yes. All the stuff we discussed in part 1. But we can look at them as fellow human beings and we try to help people. That's what we try to do. But every time I overreacted, and I still do at times, I'm getting a lot better. I'm really working on it. That's the area I'm working on. But every time I had one of those face-to-face scream matches with fundamentalist Christians years ago, I never felt good. I walked away feeling bad. I couldn't understand, why do I feel so bad? Why am I not happy? Did I change that person's mind? Probably not. You can't change a mind of faith unless they're open. They're going to have to come to that themselves. Now, when they're open a little bit, they start having some difficulties in their life, and they start thinking, a little spark of critical thinking or something causes them to start doubting and become skeptical, then that's a good time, like I do. I'll pass out atheist experience cards. I need some talk heathen cards. When I'm out there, people that are at that point, they're ready to debate, and they seem to be open. We've got areas for you, people for you to talk to. But overreactive behavior, no, it doesn't work. Now, there are things we can react to. We need to. Now, Mr. and Miss Christian on the far right, I would love to live and live with them And I still treat people with respect. I'm nice to people, but I tell you, it's hard sometimes when they do what they do. They try to push their beliefs on everybody else, right? We know that. But I would love to live in every area with them if they stopped pushing their agenda, their discriminatory ways, their biblical laws on everybody else. If they stopped doing that, I could live and live. Well, that's an area that we have to react to. All right, another characteristic, and then I'm going to close, of a person in their adolescent stage of atheism. Number 6 is an antipathy, a deep dislike of everything religious or church-like. Now, hang with me here. I've had a lot of fellow atheists give me that look like, oh, what are you talking about, David? I can tell by their reaction they're still at that adolescent stage. Now, not long ago, this was probably last year, I've got hundreds of stories to tell you, so I picked just one. Because I'm trying to keep these episodes short, and it's hard for me to keep it short. It was at the market days with the gang here from Atheist Community of Austin with the booth. We have a big banner. We pass out literature and so forth. And a lot of fellow secular people would come up, and they were so happy to see people of their tribe. They would hug us, take pictures with us. They were so glad to see people that are secular out there. They thought they were all alone, right? That's why we go out there, one reason. But there's one couple, they must have been in their 50s. They told me their story. They just came out of religion maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. They're probably early 50s or so. He seemed like he was okay with a little Jesus jokes here and there. He seemed happy. He seemed to be able to talk about stuff without that, church and God and religion. Now, she was a different story. And I'll tell you what happened. Now, if you know me, sometimes I crack Jesus jokes. Come on, we got to do it once in a while. That stuff deserves some mockery, right? And when they were walking off, I do this usually when I meet people that are looking for secular groups. And I'll say something silly like, have a blessed day. And I said that. Now, he turned around and laughed and smiled, and he said, I'm praying for you, that type of stuff, just having fun, right? He was okay. He's healed up. It doesn't bother him. But his wife turned around, looked at me, turned red in the face. She didn't look happy. She looked very upset that I said that. And she came back and said, I don't want to think about church. I don't want to think about religion. I hate it. It's pathetic. It hurt me. You know, I get it. I've been there too. I wish I would have had Dr. Del Rey's card, recovering from religion. I tried to encourage her. And he, the husband, grabbed his wife and said, honey, he's just kidding. He's just having some fun. That's all he's doing. So there are people out there. Now, we've got to understand, folks, there is a phrase we used to use back in the old days. I don't know if you youngsters still use this phrase, but you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. What does that mean? You keep the good. You grab that baby, you hold on to it because it's good, but you take the dirty bathwater and you throw it out. You don't throw it all out. And when you talk about the things of church or religion, if you're an adolescent atheist and you're still at that stage, you're not going to like hearing that. You're going to get mad at me. I know that. I've had a lot of people mad at me about this. But once you get healed up, you can go, you know what? I can find some good in everything. There's actually some good in it. They're pretty damn good at community. They've been doing it for a long time, 1,700 to 2,000 years. They've been good at communities. They've been good at promoting goodness. They've been good at feeding homeless people, social justice. And we know there's a lot of dirty water in that belief system, no doubt. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's not all bad. I meet people like that often. They say, David, that place that you spoke at the other week, or this group and this group is too churchy for me. It reminds me of my past. It brings up all these bad feelings and thoughts. Well, you're not healed up yet. Once you get healed up, you can go walk in there without any hatred and just see these people as fellow human beings, Most of them are there because they want to be good people. Most of them are there because they want to be in a group. They want to belong somewhere with other good people. They just don't know there's something better. That's all. So again, if you're at that point in your atheism and agnosticism, and you're angry, you're bitter, you feel like a victim, you overreact, you have a deep antipathy and dislike of anything to do with Christianity or God or religion or church, if you're ready, there's a way to heal up. There's a way to mature. And if you're not ready, it's okay. It took me a while. I had to be alone for several years to get healed up before I joined some groups years ago. Non-coercive, folks. That's what it is. And if you're ready, there are ways to do it, to get healed up and to mature. You do it for yourself, number one. Let those selfish genes take first, precedent. Number one, you'll be a lot happier. And then number two, you can be a productive activist. You can be a productive person that can go out there and do some good to help other people. So if you're at that stage, find a group. Every city, every major city, and some smaller cities, we have these secular humanist, atheist, and agnostic groups popping up everywhere. Most of the people in these groups were once very Christian. Not all, but most. They've been hurt. They've been devastated. But you get into a good, caring group of people, they'll love you and help you along. And then number two, Dr. Darrell Ray, thank you, sir. Recovering from religion. Give them a call, go to their website. People will talk to you, suggest and recommend groups wherever you are, whatever your city you live in. And they actually would talk you through things. They have a real live person on the phone, not a recording. You could actually talk to a caring individual to get you healed up and to enjoy life, to experience the full beauty of being human. And that's a part of secular humanism. Growing up out of that angry adolescent stage of atheism into maturity, and then you see there's even more than just being an atheist, which I'm a proud atheist and a strong atheist. But my goal is to become more mature in all these areas, to be happy, to be ethical, to be moral, and above all that, actually, I want to make a difference in the world and to help people. So let's build these secular communities. Let's get healed up. And remember to let the light of secular humanism shine. Have a wonderful day.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
No, you're done.